AFTV DT, a win.
A win.
A win is a win. Listen, we're expected to win that. 3-0. And some confidence-boosting performance there by a couple of youngsters. And what a goal by Pepe.
Oh, listen, if only he can kind of transform that on a more consistent basis. Because you know he's got it in his locker, but it's the consistency. And it hasn't been good enough in that respect. So if he can do that, then we've got one hell of a player on our hands. And for the price we paid, we've got to start seeing it now.
Has he earned his place for Sunday, though, after that performance tonight?
I would start him. I would. If you were going to give me the option of him or Willian, I think that he will cause Man United a lot more problems than Willian. And given the fact that, you know, that Luke Shaw's going to play, given the fact that their new left backs, out at the moment with coronavirus. So it's a perfect opportunity. We saw what Pepe done to Luke Shaw last season. So that'll be fresh in his mind. So be interesting to see what Mikel Arteta does. But for me tonight, the standout player for me, and I want to give really special praise to, is Reiss Nelson. I felt he was absolutely superb. And we've seen the reports this week talking about how Arsenal wanted to send him on loan. He felt like he wasn't really going to benefit from a loan and he wanted to actually stay and fight his place despite the players that are ahead of him. And tonight will go a long way to saying to Mikel Arteta, give me some minutes in the Premier League now.
Yeah, definitely. And he played with, what I liked about him tonight, he played with a lot of pace and aggression. Yeah. And, you know, you could see that was a player out there tonight who wanted to impress.
Yeah. He played with no fear is the best way. The best way of describing Reiss over recent times when I watch him is that he looks scared, like he doesn't want to make a mistake, like he's trying too much to impress, that it ends up not working. Whereas tonight, it's though, you know what, I know what I can do, I know what I've got, go out there, enjoy my football, express myself, and then let the pieces of the jigsaw just fall into place. And that's what he did tonight. And he was just direct, aggressive, and his overall play from the very beginning, because he was the standout player in the first half, and it was a cagey, shall we say, opening 30 minutes. And it was one of these games where it's going to be like that until you get the first goal, you know, but we can't, you know, take it as being, okay, it's only Dundalk. Okay, it should be a win. Nothing in football is guaranteed. Earlier on this evening, we sat and watched Spurs lose. Now, before the game, you saw all over social media, Gareth Bale was starting and everyone was talking about how great that Tottenham lineup looked. It was a strong bench, how they're progressing, they could possibly be champions and all this kind of stuff. And then bang.
They were taken apart.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the finishing, could have been about 4. So you've got to take these, be professional, and get the victories. And we've got 2 wins out of 2 in the Europa League now. The group as a whole looks easy. Beat Molde next week, practically done and dusted.
More or less through. Another youngster who stood out today was Willock. I thought he had a very good game as well. Yep. Is he knocking on the door for a place in that? You know, there's problems in the midfield, and he was quite dynamic today as well.
Interesting stat was that last season, Joe Willock played more than any other player in the team last season. So it shows how involved he was. But this year, he hasn't really been involved.
But is it time? You know, I thought he played very well tonight, and he scored a good goal, and he was getting in the box a lot. We've been talking about our midfield players not getting into the box, not getting into positions where they can score. But he, as attacking midfielder tonight, he looked dynamic as well.
Yeah, he did, and he's another player that will, you know, give Mikel Arteta some, you know, food for thought, shall we say. And I don't think he's ready to start as a regular. He's still a young lad that's learning the ropes, because there were a couple of moments even in tonight's game where he held on to the ball a little bit too long, and the decision making. And these are
this is his first game, isn't it?
So I understand that, but these are problems with Joe Willock's game that I've spoken to you about after other games. You remember there was the Chelsea game, and there was another one where Bournemouth away, where he could have made the simple pass, released it, held on it too long, went for glory. And if they don't go in, everyone straight away goes, why didn't you just make the simple pass? So it's little things like that that he's got to learn, the decision making, the, you know, those certain moments in the game. But yeah, his overall performance was really good. Reece Nelson was really good. Joe Willock, like we said, I thought Granit Xhaka done a very capable job at centre back.
Good starting goal, clean sheet for Rinison.
Yeah, it was a perfect start for him. Shut up, Robbie. It was this clown. He's trying so hard not to laugh. Do you know what I mean? But
I loved in that stream the way we were giving you stick about.
Mate, listen, at the end of the day,
he did look all right though, didn't he? He's accomplished.
Mate, listen, you could have put Manuel Almunia back in goal tonight.
No, but his distribution and stuff like that was.
Listen, at the end of the day, he's been brought in as a deputy, and for
now,
and to learn and to challenge Bern Leno eventually. But yeah, it was a capable debut, should we say? But I felt that I'd say the one player that didn't stand out for me tonight and probably didn't cover himself in glory was Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, he had a poor game.
I felt he had overall quite a poor game, given the fact that people are calling for him to start week in, week out. I think maybe Mikel's right, judging by that performance, as to why he hasn't been starting. So it's a problem with Ainsley. He kind of goes hit and miss. One really good game and a bad one, and it's one of those. But yeah, look.
Yeah, well, listen. All jokes aside, and we got the win under our belt. Didn't have to bring on some of the big boys as well, but the big one is Sunday 4:30. Man United, they had a great win against Leipzig, 5-0. They're all fired up. That's a huge game. Can Mikel Arteta go to Old Trafford and finally get 3 points against one of those big boys?
We're gonna find out.
How do you feel about it?
You know what? We could be unbeaten this season, and I would still go into this game feeling nervous because our record at Old Trafford is horrendous. You go right back to some of our best teams. We struggled at Old Trafford. Much better teams than what we've got now.
Well, listen, Leicester the other day, when they come to our place, they hadn't won this since 1973. And they got the win. It's a strange old season this year as well.
It is a strange old season. And I said this to you earlier on in the stream, that the last time, Manchester United came off the back of a really good European result and played us was when they beat PSG 3-1 away. And then the day after, I think it was the same week anyway, on the Thursday, we went out to France and lost to Rennes. And you remember how we felt coming on the way back, the way the players were getting absolute hammered in the airport. And then we done that preview with Flex and that outside the stadium, and he was laughing, and it was all Ollie at the wheel and everything else. We beat him 2-0. Yes, it was at the Emirates, but nobody went into that game with any kind of confidence. Man United had just turned over PSG and turned their Champions League result around. It was fantastic. They were so high in confidence. But we can, beat these teams. And Mikel Arteta has proven that he can beat any team in the Premier League out of the top sides, because he's beaten Manchester City. He's beaten...
not at their place, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that is the big test.
This is where
he showed he could beat the managers. Yeah. The ones that are in charge. He'd only been in the job a week when he beat Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he took over before. So he can do it, but we need to... I feel that we're at this stage now where it's becoming a bit of a... like a weight on the shoulders, because it's, like you were saying, Leicester have never won at Arsenal in such and such. And it's these kind of things just drag on year by year, and everyone keeps talking about it. And the longer that we keep on not winning at one of these sides, everyone starts saying, well, Arsenal haven't won at one of these sides in the top six since Santi Cazorla and Olivier Giroud scored away at Manchester City in whatever year it was that long ago. But if you go and get a result, then the first thing that people talk about when you go away to one of those big sides again is not about what you did 6-7 years ago with Santi Cazorla. They go, well, last time out, Arsenal went to Old Trafford and put in a performance and got a victory. Can they do it again? So it freshens things up and it gets that weight off the shoulders. And I feel this is a weight that's been on our shoulders from Emery to Wenger. It's been there a long time. And we've got the capabilities of doing it. The team selection is going to be key. And obviously we'll go through that umpteen times over the next few days with podcasts and whatever. But I'm not holding out for anything because of our record at Old Trafford. And then maybe if we do, it will feel better. Because for too many years, we've always got our hopes up going into games. And you remember the last few years, we've actually gone to Old Trafford as favourites because they've been on the back of massive injury crisis. And everyone's like, yeah, you're going to win that game. You're going to win. And we've walked out of there getting draws lately and we've been disappointed. So let's go in there, head held high. We've done what we need to do tonight. And then we'll see what happens on Sunday.